Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats are from Popternative, speaking to Kym Whitley and DeRay Davis about Phat Tuesdays, year of hip hop comedy, which is premiering on Prime Video February 4th. Thank you both for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Peter got a lot of energy.
I'm really excited. Kym, what was going through your mind when you were when you found out about this docu-series and you were going to be involved with it? I mean, it's so exciting. Like, what was going through your mind a little bit?
Well, first of all, that I was like, oh, Guy. I said, our friends always call us and want us to do something. So I'm like, yeah, Guy. Let me know when it's really happening. So, it really happened. He really called, he had Reginald Hudlin, of course, aboard, and Brian Phillips as producers. So those are big names. So I'm like, oh, he really is about to do this.
Yeah.
So then I got nervous because even when I sat there, I was like, oh my God, I didn't prepare. I didn't, really sit and think about what happened back then, because when it happens to you, it's just part of your history. It's part of what happened to you. Yeah. So I'm nervous about seeing how they all put it together. But I showed up because I love Guy Torry.
Yeah, absolutely. DeRay, one of the things I loved about this docuseries, I got a chance to see the first couple of episodes, is, the docuseries, the documentaries, they're big right now. They're hot right now. People love them and everything. This one features obviously a lot of, actors, a lot of stand-up comedians. So, when they're talking and kind of talking about the historic moments and everything, there's a lot of laughs, you know what I mean? There's some jokes being in there. What's that like for you, kind of seeing that? It's a docu-series, but it's going to have a lot of laughs as well. Usually docu-series are just focusing on certain things and learning. We're going to laugh in this one too.
Yeah, well, I laugh at docu-series. That's the thing about comedy. We laugh at docu-series. We're not supposed to. So this is just gave us a big, we everyone knows Tiger King is hilarious. Some of the other ones, some of the weird ones we watch and we find comedy in it. So of course we will find even more relating to us and performing on a stage that we didn't know where that stage was leading. So it was really exciting. And so I think those are real moments. I think you catch somebody laughing about something that makes it a real memory to them. Yeah. Like on stage, if I'm telling the joke and I'm really remembering it, no matter how many times I've said it, I'm still laughing at it because it paints a picture in my mind of a time that you can't just go back to. And our mind is that time machine. So I think that when you see the guys talking about it or a moment they had, and they're like, I remember it was like, we love telling stories, whether the stories exactly match up, how the other person felt about the story. We love telling stories. So it makes us laugh, man.
And that's what stand-up comedy is, Kym. It's storytelling.
Yes.
Kym, DeRay, you're storytellers. That's what you do, Kym.
I received that. That's
you go to the story. I mean, you go to the things that are, I like the things that are closest to me because I'm able to tell that story or part of that story or something I've seen. And we're able to put the news out a little softer. We're able to put the news out a little funnier. We are the funnies. If you were to open the old school newspapers, you always went to the funnies first. And I think we are the funnies first. So we deliver that same headline, but with the funnies energy.
No, absolutely. I find it interesting too, Kym, in this docuseries, a lot of the amazing, talented, funny people that are in this docuseries wear a lot of many hats. They don't just do stand-up comedy. They act. They do a lot of things as well. For you, Kym, did you always know that you were going to do many things? You were going to act, you were going to do comedy, you were going to do podcasting, or did it kind of just happen?
I think it just kind of happens. I really do. I think as you meet and network people, things are born from that, like you say, Got with Sherry Shepherd podcast, DeRay's room that he does at the Improv. I think, he met Spike or whatever happened. But I think as our journey goes, we say we want to make people laugh. Yeah. That's the seed.
Goal.
And then you go. So
was it the same for you as well, a little bit too? Because, you were doing stand-up, you're doing a lot of things, the improv, and you worked on some amazing films, some of the funniest films of all time. Was it kind of just happened for you as well?
Yeah, comedy just happened for me, by the way. My whole career just happened. I never wanted to act. I always thought I was going to be this huge rapper / street guy.
What?
And I always was a salesman, I guess, kind of, because even with that, then I was in retail and you guys talking to people. So, but you never know exactly where your career is going to end. But I think the hunger you're talking about that comes later comes from wanting to challenge yourself. And as a comedian, when people open different doors for you or show you different things you can do or become from that, just that that one thing, you feel better about where the career is going.
Yeah.
So we give ourselves constant upgrades. We give ourselves constant promotions. I am an actor now. I'm going to act. I see another ladder to climb. It's part of, but it still comes from that comedy base. That's your root. You know what I mean? You can always go back to that.
Yeah. I feel like the people that have said that there's some people that like plan, they want to do a lot of things, but for the most part, I feel like it just happens. I don't think you can plan for that. Basically.
Yeah, any of that. I mean, you can have dreams and aspirations of what you want to do, but as far as things fall in your lap and you have to renegotiate with your own mental contract to do something different, it's good, man. It just sets a different standard. Like you got comedians now who I never thought about really doing skits and stuff like that because I didn't want to be. I always seen the Will Smith way, and when you seen Will start doing Instagram, I'm like, dang, I better do Instagram too. I better do some TikToks too. So you consistently want to grow, especially if you think you got a craft that the world needs to hear.
Oh, absolutely. Kym, is there a little bit of like a misconception about comedy or anything? Or, you know, a lot of stand-up comedians, you see them a lot of sitcoms, a lot of movies, and the movies are scripted and there's a script and everything. But I'm just curious, like, is there more improv than people think when stand-up comedians show up in movies? Like, I'm just curious about that at all.
You know what? It's two things. It depends on the writer, the director, and it depends on what level the comic is on. If it's Eddie Murphy, Jim Carrey, yes, they can improv. And nobody gonna say nothing. But it depends on, I don't think so. I think there's funny writing out there. Yeah. But I do ask personally, me, on every set, directors know me. I always say, give me one for me. After they've gotten everything, I said, don't cut the camera. I said, give me one for me. And usually the one for me is what I really want to say and the improv aspect of it. So there are some, and it depends on the editor and the director. Once they cut that film together, they might keep your stuff, they might keep their stuff.
And DeRay, it's interesting too, because I've had these conversations where you see kind of a movie, you see like a dinner party conversation, right? And there's back and forth in a movie and you're like, wow, that seems like improv because it seems so natural and everything. And then you find out like, no, that was in the script. Like, that's really good writing.
Some things are like that. I love, for the most part, I've been blessed in my career to, even from my first movie, Barbershop, I was able to improv. I came in, I was not a good actor. And Tim Story met me at the comedy club and asked me would I come even audition the other people. So I actually auditioned Mike Ealy. I also auditioned Eve. I was sitting on that side of it because he saw me perform and just wanted me to read. And then I was invited to do the role on Barbershop. So he's like, I got this little role and I wasn't supposed to even come in the shop, supposed to pop my head in. And here I am freestyling. And majority, like I said, I've been lucky enough because I'm not that great at reading. But I've been lucky enough that the directors I've been around have trusted me in those movies. Like she said with Eddie Murphy, Eddie was like, go ahead and go. And me and him just riff. Me and Will Ferrell was like, go ahead and go. And we just went at it, you know? Yeah. And I love that those opportunities are given. But Ice Cube told me a long time ago, I said, hey, do you mind me ad-libbing? And he said, hey, DeRay, when this movie come out, it's going to be funny. It's going to say written by Ice Cube.
That's hysterical.
He said, as long as it's funny, he said, when this movie come out, it's going to be funny. It's going to say written by Ice Cube. I don't care what
you said. That's brilliant.
Kym, DeRay, thank you both for your time. Seriously, Phat Tuesdays, Year of Hip Hop Comedy, February 4th from Prime Video. Thank you both for your time.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.